Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the Northeast, ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's rearguard airsoft player of size Zalon, going first air as a Seraphim. He is a 1400 in glow in the dark green. I am going to slow down just a little bit so I don't forget. We have enough time to introduce and go over early gameplay. Here is Bereji Savopokon. Bereji for short, going first line as a UEF. He is a 1400 in 1500 as a Pac-Man yellow player. To his southeast in light octane, blending in with his environment. It is Knightley going first line as an Aeon. He is a 1700, the highest rank on Team 1. In Stitch Blue is Low Key going first land as a UEF. He is a 1500 going first land. In Snow White is Stigma Runner going first air as a Seraphim. He is also a 1500. And last but not least for Team 1 is Robe. I want to say Robe, but you could probably already say Rob or iRobot. That's what I really want to say. Going first land as a UEF as well. He is a 1000 rated player in light, not a light octane, but he is in lightish red pink. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, and 3 UEF, which means Team 1 does not have access to Cybran technology. In the Southwest here for Team 2 in the rearguard air slot is the Chevy Crimson player of Zardos, going first line as an Aeon. He is an 1100. And in Barbie Pink to his east is Psychoad, going first land as a UEF. He is an 1800 here for his team. Here it is Yoji. He's going first land as a Seraphim, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall at a 1900 rating in Imperial Gray. And in Ruby Red, already on the move, is Chaz, going first line as a UEF. He is a 1400, and again, he is in Ruby Red. In Orange, the color orange, we have Supreme AJ going first line as an Aeon. He is a 1400. And last but not least for Team 2, it is Jim Jack J going first line as a Cybran, the one and only of the game. He is a 1000 rated player. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum, with 2 UEF and 2 Aeon for Team 2. So Team 2 has, again, access to all the technologies. Team 1 has 3 UEF, 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, and no Cybrans. Let's take a look at the reclaim before our players scoop it all up. It is for 12 players, almost 18,000 reclaim. It's about 1,500 mass per player, which is, again, a decent amount of mass for the Neuroxys map generator to bless our players with. Let's take a look at mass point layouts and the map overall. Let's take a look at Team 1 side of the map, that being the northeastern side. There is a Trimex, another Trimex, and that's really about it in terms of large groups of, very condensed mass points. There are, I mean, you could probably call that a quad mex right there. Yeah, you could probably call that a quad mex. So 1 quad mex, and then we can just call that a Trimex over here, because realistically, that's really going to be owned by 1 player. There is a decent amount of mass points to be scooped up here on this upper plateau, both a little bit in the north, but mainly in the middle. And very interestingly, on the land side of things, it's going to be kind of difficult to engage the middle and the northern side of the map here for both of these teams. Again, it's going to be flip-flop, so Team 2 is talking about the south side, Team 1 on the north side. I mean, there are a couple of avenues here kind of sneaking here. But that's definitely going to be a point of watching out for here for Team 1. Bereji has to be very careful that no units sneak past him on that side of the map. But really, the biggest vantage point for attacking in terms of the land is going to be this side of the map here for Team 1 and Team 2 on this side. Realistically, when you start getting into these positions where there start to be chokes and narrow necks of land to travel through, the pathing, the pathfinding and all that for larger units just really, okay, bonk, 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 bonk. And it makes it very difficult to move around. So our players will have to take that into account. T1 units, T2 units, not really thing to really worry about. But T3 and T4 especially, I only see maybe 2 chickens really, going to move through that adequately. So, again, our players do have to watch out for the map constraints in terms of land. Air, of course, no one cares because it doesn't matter if it's water or land or whatever. Air doesn't matter. But land, most definitely, we'll have to watch out for those pinch points, I guess, or choke points or pressure points or whatever you want to call them here in the game. And with all the introductions and the layout talked about, mass points as well, let's go ahead and speed this game up back to 0. We do see a T1 bomber outbound here from Signal Runner going after a little bit of that harass. Does have a nice little spy air scout and another one. Be able to see what's going on that side of the map. We'll see the comm. I don't know if he's going to go straight for the comm or not, but is again trying to scout, get a nice little readout on what his opponents are doing. Signal Runner, again, has been on the cast a lot. Same thing with Yoji and let's see who else. Beta G, Zaizoan. Very good players on both teams. Going to be very, very high octane action, especially when we get into just the let's just spam T4 and call it a day kind of action, which, of course, does happen. There are those rare matches where it's mainly nukes and artillery, but there's a lot of T4 units, especially with these kinds of players. I expect to see a ton of chickens and colossi, and we'll see a couple monkey lords and all of the goodness that we do appreciate in FAF. On this western side here, it does look like it's going to be a 3v1 scenario here. Maybe we'll have Zaizoan move into the west to assist, but essentially it's Jim Jack J in the front with Chaz and Supreme AJ moving in behind. Looks like Chaz is going to really rotate to the middle, but he still will be pretty close to engage on that northern side. Team 1 does have Knightley coming into the middle, so he'll be able to, again, rotate to assist in that sort of venue. But most of the comms on Team 1 actually rotating to the middle as well. Both Signal Runner and iRob trying to deny this pin. This nice little Trimex position here for Team 2's Psycho Ad and Yoji, because Yoji looks like he's dropped. There was a Chevy Crimson Transport. Dropped off a couple of engineers, scooping up Reclaim here for Team 2's Zardos. Trying to get his ego up and running for that air grid. And we will see, I think, the first come-on-cam action here of the game between the pink players of the game. It is iRob versus Psycho Ad. Both of them are UEF. No advantages in hit points. But there is a T1 PD, excuse me, that will force back iRob just a little bit, but Signal Runner will come in to assist as well. So now it's going to be 2v1 here at 5 minutes. Psycho Ad, I mean, he's going after Reclaim, but again, has to be very careful he doesn't get overran. There is a transport with a couple of engineers on board to assist with Reclaim and facilities, but it's mainly going to pump out a couple of tanks for now, but against 2 comms, that's not a lot of firepower to force back those 2 comms. And in the north, we do see Beta G getting up close and personal with the Jim Jack J. Both of them going after Reclaim. And Chaz going to come in and assist as well. It's another 2v1 scenario, this time in favor of Team 2 versus Team 1. Not really going well here for Beta G in the north. He needs some assistance. There is Knightley coming in from behind to assist. And it does look like Jim Jack J and Chaz might start rotating westward to avoid that. But for now, they're going to sit there again, Reclaim, and try to scoop up all that mass before their opponents can get to it. We do see Yoji coming in to assist his frontline facility, and we see a third player on Team 1. It is Loki moving in. The second one has dropped into the yellow, and so has Signal Runner. iRob, see, I knew I was going to say iRobot at some point, is perfectly fine. A little bit, singed, but not too bad. And with a newly fresh comm on the front line here, it's 1 UEF and 1 Seraphim versus 1 Seraphim and 2 UEF here for Team 1. And I feel like I'm going to split this because it looks like somebody might die in this engagement. So I'm just going to move north and move south. 5 comms just kind of hanging out over here, throwing plasma at one another. Signal Runner needs to retreat and get behind iRob while iRob takes the front stage. Kind of rotate back and forth. It does look like the action here between Team 1 on the northern side has pretty much died out. So I'm going to end the split and focus on what's going on at the other side of the map. We do see kind of units getting a nice little berth here in the south for Team 2's Psycho Ad, getting a lot of territory underneath their control. A couple of tanks running around here for Rob, but not really a whole lot on the cards to be able to do a whole lot with, which means Team 2 has the advantage in the southern side of the map. Team 1, same thing cannot be said with the dual comms here of both Jim Jack J and Chaz, forcing this position to be under their control, as well as we have Supreme AJ kind of starting to rotate northward as well. It will definitely force Team 1 into a corner here for the time being. And it does look like Team 1's comms of Signal, Loki, and iRob will retreat and try to establish a frontline facility. Lots of spam facilities going to be established here for a couple players on Team 1 to try to counteract the amount of units on the field for Team 2. But Team 2 might start transitioning into T2 at this stage. Probably already has some upgrades on the way. Looks like some of them are. The land players don't go for T2 immediately like the air players do. Very rarely do you see a land player in lockstep. Well, okay, scratch that. To be fair, Jim Jack J is at T2. So just scratch everything that I just said. But he has the first facility online in terms of T2 on his side of the map. Team 1 has a T3 air already. The upgrade is already started, so this could be a 10-minute T3 air very, very quickly here for Team 1. They need to use that advantage. Team 2 is going for their T2 upgrade. It does have it and is significantly behind. This is huge for Team 1. Team 2 has been very aggressive in the land, but Team 1 will be able to fight back in the air. Upgrades going online here for both of these players here in both the south and the north. Looks like all those upgrades will be canceled here for Team 1 and actually just Team 1. Yoji with that gun, and I think it's a speed and range upgrade, will force these upgrades to stop. Sakuad coming in to assist as well, but Team 2 has the advantage with Yoji with that range. We do see range on the way here for Nightly. Went for speed first. Definitely recommend the opposite order for that, but at least both are done, and speed and range going down here for Jim Jack J. He has a ton of forces here in the northwest. Could essentially force back Team 1. Maybe even kill off Bettergy right here. There's a lot of tanks here. Very overwhelming force there in the north. And Loki getting just beaten down by Team 2's Yoji. He wants that kill. He wants it. Look, he is in the red, sub 3,000 hit points, and Signal Runner, it's about 50% as well. Rob is in the yellow. He's in the he's in the middle yellows now at about 8,000 HP left. They will start to retreat. There are reinforcements arriving here for both Loki and Nightly, diverting his forces southward. But this is huge here for Team 2's Yoji. Does getting some nice veterancy on board that commander, getting a lot of just forward momentum here for this southern part of the map. But like I said earlier, once that T3 air is done, which it is, and it's fully online before 10 minutes, like I said, before 10-minute upgrade to T3. He hasn't really built any T1 units at all. Maybe built like an air scout. That's about it. Yeah, it has that. Well, actually, that's for Jim Jack J. Excuse me. I don't think he built any air units of anything. Just wanted to go for that upgrade. And I don't blame him. Getting T3 this early is huge, but again, you have to use it. If you don't use it aggressively this early, it's not really worth it. So you can see Team 2 just getting a ton of value out of their T1 units, just, you know, huge into Team 1's territory, as well as the dual comms there in the east. You see Yoji going for T2, going to get that up very, very quickly here and just punish Team 1 even further by getting those Utashalas online and forcing back that front line even further back. Team 1 is getting pushed into a corner, and it's not really looking good here for Team 1, especially on this eastern side. The northern side isn't that bad. I mean, there's a lot of Team 1 units, but they're running into a comm and a couple of Team 1 PDs, so at the most, the comm will get some veterancy. He does have T2 land online, getting those Mongoose. Probably Riptides would have probably been a better choice. I know the range is definitely tempting on the Mongoose, but they're weaker, and you can see Mantis just kind of just rip them to shreds. We do see units here from the north coming to assist. And this push definitely will fizzle out very, very quickly, but it does give a lot of time for Team 2 to build up stealth on the way here for Jim Jack J. And still, we see that T2 Utashala online. I do find it interesting that Psychoed has the upgrade going on in front of the PD instead of behind the PD, saying, nope, these are my kills. No, 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 stop firing. No, 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 you can't have those. Those are mine. Just this push outbound from Team 2 is crazy here on this, you know, essentially Middle East to south side of the map. Team 1 is just falling back. We have a fourth comm, technically, on this eastern side here for Team 1. 4 of the 6 comms, 6 of the 12 in the game are right here on screen fighting over just this line, and Team 1 is losing. Team 2 has upgrades on board. Signal Runner does as well. Same with Nightly. Rob does not, and the gun upgrade has started to hit for Loki, but Team 2 has a huge advantage. PD creeping has started to occur here for Yoji. trying to force back Team 1. There are some T2 tanks online, but there's not really that many. And the ones that do arrive, the PD get veterancy or the Com gets veterancy. Either or, both is a benefit here for Team 2's Yoji. And in terms of mass income here, Team 2 at 400 and a little bit. Team 1 at 340, so we'll say at least 60 mass more for Team 2 than Team 1, just based on sheer map control. We do see a nice flanking attack here in the middle east-west position here for Team 1, going after this not really defendable position, not really defended position here that was once fought over by the Coms themselves. And it does look like a lot of that momentum is starting to shift in Team 1's direction with, again, 4 Coms. 2 of them actively engaged, one of them going for an upgrade, and one of them might be moving into assist soon after the nano repair is online. Team 2 put a lot of effort into this, but a lot of that has sizzled out. Still will retain control, but all the infrastructure is essentially gone. Gone damage and range on here for Chaz. Gonna, again, try to secure that position up the map. Not really any efforts to go down that middle, like I mentioned. Very tight environment. Not really worth it. The sides are definitely the ways to attack. And again, this one is definitely, obviously not as bad as this one. Definitely, this is the largest breadth of attack, being the largest width that land units can attack in. It's definitely going to be, again, a point of contention trying to secure that. But neither player really going after the plateaus. I could see a position where a couple of T2 artillery, PD on the edges, shields, AA could really be useful here. We do see a couple of engineers are on that plateau here for Yoji, but they're just sitting there to hang out. Not really doing much of anything else. PD group still occurring, but now we see missile launchers online, and that's really going to curtail a lot of these PD from really getting any forward momentum. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for Team 2's Yoji. I mean, he can only build so many TMD before those missiles break on through. He needs to really get a shield and then to really offset the damage coming off those missiles that do get through. Again, in the north, we see Jim Jack J holding position here. T1 bombers just laying waste to whatever's up there here for either Sizalin or for Bettergy. No one has died, knock on wood, before 20 minutes so far. And there have been some close calls. We had one here on the eastern side here for, I think that was Rob? No, Rob. No, maybe that was Loki. Maybe Loki was the one that was low. I forget, it happened a couple minutes ago. I completely forgot. But Knightley just getting torn asunder by those PD. We see Signal Runner charging. He has T2 on board, 14,000 hit points, and now he's in the yellow. Overcharges, takes out one of those PD. 2 of them are still online. The shield was being built. Well, will be denied. The Team D is down, and Yoji goes, nah, it's not really worth fighting over anymore. I'm going to just hang out back at base. Team 1 not using the air to their advantage. Could have gone for Bomber. Could have wrecked Team 2's Eco. But Team 2 now has T3 air and T3 land, and we do see T2 air on the way here, online here for Yoji. Maybe we'll see T3 pretty shortly, but T2 also online, going to T3 here for Supreme AJ. So 2 players going for T3. A third of them can go for it relatively easily. It's not like a huge jump. It's not T1 to T3. It's just T2 to T3, so it's not as bad of a jump, but still is a jump, but not as bad. We see the central player of Knightley trying to poke and prod these western and eastern units here for Team 2. Going to attack at the flanks. They're mainly focused on the main lane. Essentially, he's the jungler, if you want to use League of Legends terms, and kind of just hanging out. The middle doesn't even exist in this game. It's the east and the west, and kind of just there is realistically in this game so far. And I do like to compartmentalize it a little bit just for my brain, so I know, okay, there's this many units on this side, this many units on this side, which side is going to collapse faster, which side is going to hold, whatever the case may be, what units are being diverted where, that sort of thing. So, I try to make it a little bit, if it's easier for me to track, hopefully it's easier for you to track, but of course, you can always pause the video, rewind. I can't rewind replays. I wish. Oh, I wish you could do that in FAF. That's not a thing yet. I hope at some point they'll add it. I want there to be a rewind, because it's essentially, I mean, it's not a video, it's interactive and stuff, but essentially it's just a replay. It can't change. So actions will still occur in the same order. I just don't know why the replay or the rewind hasn't been a feature of the replays. Where we see these blazes really ripping through. There's mostly T1 land army here. For Jim Jack J, there's some T2 Obsidians online. Love these tanks. Very, very tanky, as their name would suggest. Have those shields on board. Just, they're not as damaging annoying as Ilshi's, but they're just, why won't you die annoying as those tanks are. We do see shield coming on the way here for Nightly, trying to protect his commander. T3 ALE says Sizalin. To T3 he makes the comment, so he does notice that Team 2 has 2 players at the minimum at T3. Yoji still hasn't gone for T3, but again, still wouldn't surprise me if he does go for it. I kind of suspect he will, but it's just a matter of when, not if. And the units here from Team 1's low-key are just being kind of just surrounded here, not kind of, are being surrounded by far superior numbers and a decent amount of T2 units outbound from Psychoad. And there's a whole lot of territory under Team 2's control, both in the south and in the north, that Team 2 desperately needs a breakthrough for. We do see a nice little transport up into the north with some Team 1 bots online, a couple of those mech marines. There's some nice little, you know, just drop them down, spam up some firepower, and then retreat kind of things. We do see a lot of movement here from Team 1's iRob. He's actually kind of far forward. And T2 units, all of them with the T1 as well, just coming to intercept that commander. He has gun and nano and almost at 1-star veterancy. Probably should have gone for shield before he left his main front line. And that's just me. There's a lot of power bearing down on him, and Team 2 could build T2 gunships, a lot of T1 bombers, something that could easily go after him. And it's just, I get it, he wants the veterancy, and now we see those pillars coming into range. Overcharge will kill off one of those pillars, will get him to 1-star veterancy, nice little 10% bump in hit points. It's just dangerous, especially with him being the first player dead. That could really weaken Team 1's hold on the eastern side, giving a lot of time and energy for Psychoad to build up and to attack that eastern side. And of course, all of his mass and energy here, if Rob were to die, would be to go to somebody else. But again, it's the whole APM and microing and all that sort of thing. But T3, Titans are online. Low-key and Nightly have to be drawn forth to deal with this. There are some Harbingers, which are the better of the bot between the Harbinger and the Titan. But if we're talking about Percy's, forget about it. Percy's are the best. And nothing will dissuade me from saying that. They just have so much damage. They do all their damage at the very beginning. If they miss their shot, that's bad, of course, but they're realistically designed for large clumps of units, which, I mean, even at the T2 stage in the early T3, large clump of units. Large clump of units. Just, even if they miss, they're probably going to hit something else for the most part. That's what they're designed for. And Bricks and Harbingers and Authams, they're all designed for specific tasks, and they're mostly the same. There's just minute differences that make them better in some scenarios versus others. Percy's are the delete T4 bot. If there's a bunch of Percy's versus one chicken, Percy's are going to win. Same with a Colossus, same with a Fat Boy in range, of course, and same with a Megalith and Monkey Lord. Like Megalith, yes, but the Megalith does have better range. So again, if they're all in range of each other and there's a decent amount of Percy's, the Percy's will win that fight. But I think decent being, I think 25 would be enough, I think, to kill a Megalith off the top of my head. Maybe it's 30. It's at least, I think it's at me around 25 or so. Nightly pushing forward with his units. Tons of Titans in here. We could see the first kill of the game if the Titans decide to go after Nightly's commander. He has advanced range and first shield, so not heavy shield. And is trying to get some veterancy. Now at 3-star. Now he's at 30% more hit points. But, you know, again, trying to attack the flanks, trying to distract both the forces of Team 2, Psychoad and Yoji, and those forces in the west here for Chaz. And he's doing a pretty good job of forcing these players to go back and forth with their units. Does a little bit more breaking out here for Team 1, and it does allow for a little bit more pushback. We see a decent amount of that here on this eastern side. Team 1 has gained a lot of territory in that respect. They used to be all the way back here. Now they're over here. But there's a large buildup of multiple groups of units here for Team 2 Psychoad. I don't think this is enough to really push against this force of Team 1, T2, and a couple of T3. So Signal Runner and Rob need to be very careful, or they will be eliminated very, very quickly. And 21 minutes is on the clock. Let's take a look at Reclaim overall. Mass, Reclaim, totals, all that sort of thing. Team 2 at 1,000 eco, probably about a 1.06 or 7 or something. It's pretty close to probably 1.1. Team 1 at 1K pretty evenly, so I'd say the advantage does stay with Team 2, but not by much. And there it is, that 1.1. So yeah, about 60 to 70, if not 80 mass per second ahead for Team 2. And total mass accrued, Team 2 is in the lead. They've been in the lead for a while just due to that ASF fight in the middle of the map while I'm talking about all of this. Looks like it will favor Team 2. It looks like the ASFs definitely reside with Team 2, but there's multiple groups of ASFs for Team 1 and Team 2, so it's kind of hard kind of tracking, and there's not a large group of them. But I do think Team 2 has a slight advantage. T3 AA will pop online. Definitely give a nice little boost to defensive measures. But anyway, in terms of reclaim, Team 1 definitely getting a better end of the deal with that. But not by much. They're definitely trailing, of course, in the total mass accrued. And both teams have all of their players remaining, which no one has died at 22 minutes. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And again, thank you so much for watching to the, the 20 or so minute mark of the video. That's where things really start to kick up and say, hey, T3 is very prevalent. T4 might be started one way or the other. People might be thinking about going for nukes or artillery at about the 30-minute mark, so it's good kind of check-in point about how the game is going on so far. We do see large group of units led by the commander himself of Psychoad pushing on Team 1's front line. Team 1, of course, is going for their comm of IROB's going for an upgrade. Leading the forces himself is Psychoad, getting a nice little screenshot of him running around with some Perseus. I do like the personal shield of the Parashield kind of next to him. That shield does go down, but at least it's there. And we do see some Perseus with Loki as well, and his is just Perseus, nothing else, which there is an advantage and disadvantage to that. And advantage, of course, is the pathfinding. It's a lot easier to navigate, and there's just, again, a lot more Perseus here for Team 1. But we have Psychoad with shield. Oh, I didn't turn the other thing on. There we go. Psychoad does have shield, but is about to lose it. Signal Runner focusing the Perseus first. Definitely the best thing to do. You kill the damage that you realistically can kill off first, and then go after the main targets. Kind of when you face off a boss, you kill all the ads most of the time, and then you go after the main boss. But Psychoad is dropping very, very quickly here. He's in the yellow, sub 8,000 hit points, and dropping very, very quickly. All the units just rushing that commander. And there's units here for Rob kind of trying to stay out of range if Psychoad were to, suddenly just explode and kill all those units. He's trying to keep them out of range. Very smart play. And the Percy's lining up the shot and will kill off Team 2's player of Psychoad. He is the first comm to die. It's a 6v5 in favor of Team 1. And Team 1 now in a huge position to just force themselves down Team 2's throat and really collapse either northward on top of this position or just go straight in. I feel like at this point going straight in is definitely the better end of the deal, because they can take out T2 mexes. They can try to go after Yoji. They might not know he's there, but go after stuff like that and really do devastating damage when this base isn't really designed to stay on. There is a T3 mex, to be fair, here for Team 2 is Zardos. It's a decent investment for T3 that far forward, but if he has everywhere else T3, then that would make sense why he went for that one there. Again, the longer it stays online, the better it is for him, but it's still a little bit of a risk being that far forward, the Team 1's front line. And with that, it does look like Yoji will inherit everything that Psychoad owns. It does make sense that he does, because he is right here on the front line defending. Got a T2 shield spammed up to defend against those Perseus, and the Perseus trying to take out the PD, but the PD and shields are too strong just for that couple of Perseus, and that will force the rest of them back. Team 1 can establish a nice little foothold here in the front line. T1 facilities pumping out some engineers for reclaim, and we might see again a movement to the north to take out this position. There's a couple of T3 AA, T2 PD being built, as well as a decent amount of engineering support. So it's definitely a nice little annoyance if Team 1 leaves that alone for a long period of time, which I don't think they will. It should be relatively easy to regroup with those Perseus and just go northward and call it a day. But we might even just be low-key wait for his comm to get there and then do it, which actually might be happening. But there's a huge movement of T1 units and T2 units outbound here from Rob to the south. Yoji has to defend now with units on the southern side of the map with some Titans. Definitely the unit you want to use with going after spam like this. And there is a couple of flak in there, so those ASF flying over the top definitely are not going to get the best feeling of the day. We do see, I think that was a T2 Mechs that's taken out. Another T2 Mechs could be taken out. But there's a lot of attention being forced this direction here for Team 2 just due to this group of units outbound from Rob. We do see some, Noth is coming online for Yoji going after those units. Need to go after the AA first. And yes, they are. They are targeting a couple of the AA, trying to take out the stuff that can shoot you first and then shoot at everything else. But those Titans getting a nice little engagement here, trying to ring around the units outbound from Team 1. And a lot of them not grouped up, which means essentially just single fire line. Definitely not what this movement should be. It should be a formation movement, moving in lockstep, kind of like this, to ensure that, again, everything fires at once and you can get a better use of your mass and energy and stuff with all those units firing at the same time. It's kind of like having, I don't know, how would I describe it? Kind of like investing, well, no, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, there's probably somebody that could describe it a lot better. But, I mean, it's essentially you have the same units aren't doing as much damage to Yoji's units as they are doing to Rob's units. Essentially, Yoji's getting a better bang for his buck with units just kind of streaming in one by one here from Rob. The damage output is definitely significantly less due to the non-formation movements. There's a long explanation of just move them all in at once and not have like send them in one by one. Let's understand what that means. We do see Team 1 holding in the north. We do see a nice little facility here for Beraji. I mean, it's something, at least T2 Mechs, a couple of AA. But it does look like there are some units outbound here from Jim Jack J to say, hey, that's not okay. Go away. That's our mass. That's our max point. We do see some gunships built here for Signal Runner. He's gone for T3. So has Team 1's Knightley and, of course, the air player of Sizolan. So we have 1, 2, 3 air facilities online for Team 1. I think Team 2 has done almost the same thing. Yoji still hasn't gone T3. But might just go just due to the fact he has 2 bases now. We see an experimental online here for Jim Jack J. It is a Monkey Lord. That's to be expected because it is the cheapest experimental of all of the game. But we do see also a Colossus online for Zardos. That would definitely assist in defensive measures on the southern side here for them. And a Fat Boy is online. Don't push the Fat Boy in too far because the PD can reach it if it moves in too close. But it looks like the mobile artillery unit of the Fat Boy will just kind of sit there, go after whatever's left, and call it a day. So definitely a nice use of mass, which is building the Fat Boy, letting it sit, take everything out, get a little bit of efficiency, and then moving forward. We do see ASFs moving into position to maybe start shielding that Colossus. The Colossus is definitely going to be noticed before it gets pretty close to the Fat Boy, but there's a second Colossus online for Chaz. It's going south and then east. It should have gone this way. It should have gone through the middle and then south to intercept out of the Colossus outbound from Knightley, or even to just, again, double team that Fat Boy. There, again, experimentals starting to sprinkle themselves around the map here for both teams. And here comes the engagements here. A bunch of Perseus and versus Harbingers and the Colossus. The Colossus getting the main amount of damage here from those Perseus. The shields are down, and the Colossus will be perfectly fine due to its shield teammates of the Asylums. And there they go. They're ripped to shreds, and now it leaves a huge hole that Colossus from Team 2's Chaz could have filled, and now there's even a chicken online. So here goes that. Oh, Signal Runner got out of range of that Colossus, just barely in time. Looks like it got singed a little bit. I'm surprised it wasn't grabbed. That was very close. I barely saw that of him getting on that transport and saying, see ya, bye. Dead, says Psycho Ad. And no, it might get out of range. But there's now a second Colossus and now a chicken that's just here. It's not going to move in. I don't know if that was the best decision or not. There are a couple of gunships going after that Colossus. I love the look of the Volthus. I mean, I don't know what it is, but something about the Seraphim designs are just chef's kiss. They're just really, really good. Nuke says, Psycho Ad, no, it's artillery here for Sizolan. So he's going for artillery at 30 minutes in the game, thinking about how to end it, not just survive it. And now we have Percy Fire raining in on the Colossus. There's even Fat Boy Fire, of course, and a lot of flak just raining in around all these ASFs, buzzing around trying to protect this Colossus. There's that Colossus to the northwest. It's severely wounded, but it's fine. ASFs will come in to assist it from Zalin and take out a ton of those ASFs here for Team 2. Team 2 Zardos will retreat, trying to get those ASFs from Team 1 underneath some AA coverage, but there's just so many of ASFs from Team 1 it doesn't even matter. And it looks like they're going to come in and start taking out those restorers here for Team 2's Supreme AJ. Colossus still getting a lot of value out of it. 1-star veterancy. We'll get to 2 before the fighting is over. Get another 10% more hit points. And now I think Team 1 has air dominance here at 31 minutes on the clock. Fat Boy still running in on that Colossus. Colossus trying to get out of range. The artillery just can't seem to get close enough. And it does look like it will reach home base, but in the middle it's starting to suffer here for Team 2's Supreme AJ. He has a Colossus on his doorstep, and the Colossus decides, no, I'll just go after some T3 Mechs here for Jack J in the north. Looks like a Fat Boy was taken out by that group of T3 and a nice little T4 missile, not missile, but Monkey Lord experimental sniper bot. I read the missile on the Viper and went, that doesn't make sense. There's really nothing to oppose this Monkey Lord, and will it move in is the question. No, it will not. It will actually fall back to intercept the Colossus, and I think that's exactly what Knightley wanted to happen, have Team 2's forces that were far superior in number and could easily pierce Team 1's defenses that were not really a lot there, and it cause them to fall back. The Colossus definitely will get a lot of value out of it. Nope, maybe it won't kill the Monkey Lord, but it definitely will significantly weaken it. And look, all of those forces have diverted back. Colossus knew it was going to die. There is a ton of firepower now online here for the those Oblivions for Supreme AJ. And ASS will take out any sort of air opposition here from Team 2. And there are some Strat Bombers. They're going to get killed off immediately. You're going to get one volley out per bomber, and that is it. Colossus is going to take it to the face, and it does look like that Monkey Lord will just kind of step on by. He's actually going to go south and then east. And we'll see if that really works for him. Could just go straight after that Colossus, but the Colossus might just have enough time to get away. Nuke is launching here. It's outbound from who? Trying to find that yellow little icon, and I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, it's over. It's completely just blanking on it. There it is, outbound from Team 1. Team 2's SMD is not loaded. If it goes for the main air grid, it's going to land, and it is going to go for it. Team 2's AJ knows that he has to get out of range. There it goes. The nuke is going to land. And, of course, as customary here on the channel, kaboom! Takes out everything here. One strat does survive, but that is a huge setback here for Supreme AJ. Does have this base. The SMD will finish loading his first SMD to protect against a second nuke, but it doesn't even matter. That Stone Ranger killed off 54,000 mass. Team 2 is down an air player. They do have their own nuclear launch station online and is 3/4 the way loaded to their first missile. And the air grid being nice and expanded here for Zardos. I do hear chicken fire in the south. There's that Colossus. I think that's the same Colossus. Oh, no, it's this one. Team 1 loses their Colossus and their Fat Boy, but there's 2 Colossi that are severely wounded here that are charging that front line. I don't know about this. I mean, sending 2 severely weakened experimentals in, and there's not really a lot of defenses to be fair, but there are, of course, another severely weakened Colossus and a chicken online, as well as a fully healed up Colossus here for Zardos. So 3 experimentals that are severely wounded, 2 of them perfectly fine. Team 1, all they got to do is bring in a couple of strats, kill off those experimentals, and call it a day. Tactical missile started here for Chaz. He might go for Billy Nuke, and at least have the tactical missile at a minimum. How's that artillery doing? Well, it's online. Second one is about to be built here pretty soon. So Team 1 has a nuke. They have an artillery. They have 2 nukes. I didn't even see that one. And Team 1 also has a satellite in the form of Rob. And Beta G looks like he's going for T3 air as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 players on Team 1 have T3 air. He might go for broadswords. Beta G might go for those, since they have air dominance for the time being. And the chicken trying to come into range of that Fat Boy here, but that Colossus to the east is just starting to rip to that front line. Satellite over the top, getting a nice little value out of it, going after a couple units as it makes its way to the other side of the map. And that artillery has been focused on the air grid here for Zardos, and that's not going to feel good as that shell impacts right on top of that PGen. Not really a lot of cascade going on due to the formation that was built into that air grid, but still, value is value. And that chicken is down. The Colossus is going to die. The other two Colossi are back here. They should just be retreated at this point. There's a lot of incoming fire here from Team 1, just from the Fat Boy alone. Now, Fat Boy is currently backing up. I don't know what it's doing, trying to move around to get up to that plateau section. And that Colossus is just going to keep going for it. Team 1 is building a nice little Fat Boy, but now they're going to build a bunch of Ravagers instead to really just curtail this incoming force. Team 1's low-key could actually come and assist this. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. And Rob does have the bubble shield. We rarely see this here on UEF commanders, but there it is. In all of its glory, Team 1 spam facility is going to be used as bullet sponges to try to deal with that incoming firepower. And this is just going to try to pierce as much as it can here from Yoji. We do see those Colossus getting lots of value here for the outline facilities. Multiple T2 land headquarters that were upgrading to T3, or at least were paused at the current moment, and T3 land also online. Another T3 land headquarters, another T3, and a T2 air headquarters upgrading to T3. And that satellite will get killed off by the Colossus. That's got to hurt here for Team 1's Rob. T2 Notha Bombers over top trying to get some of those Colossi killed. And the Colossus killed off 78,000 mass and is at 13,000 hit points still. Team 1 needs to deal with this sooner rather than later. And that Colossus here going to be chased down by another Colossus. And maybe we'll see that Colossus just turn and shoot at that Fat Boy on the top of the ridge. We do see low-key over here. He could probably try to overcharge that Colossus, but would take a risk with all the other T3 units nearby. Strategy builds an experimental. Is it a satellite? Yes, it is. Team 1 replaces a satellite with another. Colossus trying to get out of range. Sub 4,000 hit points, receiving tons of artillery fire. Like I said, from the Fat Boy, 95,000 mass killed. Will he kill? Nope, he won't. I was going to say, will he kill as much mass as his starting HP value was? No, he will not. This Colossus will also die. There's two of those Colossi. Where'd they go? Down south. They're over here to the east. One of them's back in the yellow. One of them still in the red. Grabs a transport. Going to crush that. That's got to hurt. And we just see Fat Boy fire being exchanged here between the two players in the middle of the map. Multiple Fat Boys online here for Team 1. One Fat Boy online here for Team 2. And the attack in the west commences once again. Monkey Look going to come into range of that Fat Boy. That's got to hurt. That's the second Fat Boy that Bertagi's going to lose. And he does have a couple of Ravagers back there, but Jim Jack J is defeated by Bertagi. How did he... Oh, he got killed by Percy's. Was that a drop? That must have been a drop or something. And those Percy's actually being reclaimed as we speak. Strategic launch and Nuke will launch here. This time it's out from Team 2. Looks like the attack in the east has fizzled out. And Knightley just... Hold on. Hold on. Stuff is happening. Knightley control Ks. But yeah, both Yellow and Knight has 2 GCs, but he gone. Goes on, give T3 NG. Looks like there's probably a connection issue. Most likely here for Knightley. That's with all that text just popping up immediately. And he's going to go up and smoke. So Team 1 will lose their first player, not to a kill, but to either a connection issue or just dropped out of the game or whatever the case may be. And this Colossus is going to just dump its mass on its doorstep here for Team 1 to scoop up 1 experimental, 2 experimentals, 5 experimentals here for Team 1 to scoop up, plus the wrecks from everything else. A lot of mass on that side of the map. Nuke is going to launch. Will the SMD take it out? No, it won't. Oh, this is huge for Team 2. The SMD wasn't even loaded. Going to take out a satellite, going to take out a comm, going to take out a T3 air headquarters. It's going to take out a whole bunch of stuff. And now Bertagi has been nuke sniped by Yoji. Well, that is definitely the tagline for that moment of, well, that's got to suck. Monkey Lord is still outbound here. Gonna about die here due to these Nothas inbound, but there's still a lot of support on the ground with some bricks. Going after a ton of T3 Mechs, either dual ringed or single ringed. The artillery fire still raining in. Team 1, that's the main focus now for Team 1's firepower. They've lost a satellite. They've lost the second satellite. They have 2 nukes still. It looks like the artillery from Team 2 now going to be tasked and going after other resourcing options. And those bricks just ripping Team 1's eco apart. Team 1 at 1.2, Team 2 at 1.8k mass income. And the artillery still focused on Yoji's commander. There's that one Hovertham online. Fields are being spammed up, and of course gating in of the SACUs. We see satellite spam going to be started here for Chaz, and I heard strap bombers somewhere. I don't know where they are, but they're somewhere. Looks like they're going after the units up here to the north. I don't see any other experimentals going after, or not experimentals, like bombers. Nuke is loaded here for Team 2. 94,000 mass killed with that nuke launcher. Tons of value out of that. And it's almost up to 100,000. But the Fat Boy getting in pretty close to Team 1's frontline manufacturing facility. And they're going to build an artillery there. Would not recommend it next to a nuke not shielded. Would not recommend it. Nuke has been loaded. Definitely not worth going after this Fat Boy because 2v1. Nuke gonna launch immediately. Where is it going? It's going for this facility. Decent amount of T3 mechs is here outside of the SMD range, of course, and just kind of opens up the door for a nice little land invasion later on. But Fat Boy will die off here from Team 2, which just was out firepowered by the Fat Boys from Team 1 and the Colossi as well. And there it goes. SMD is not present here, and it's for this nuke launcher here. I think it's the second nuke that's going to launch. And there it goes. Going to take on a nice T2, not Omni, but radar. There it goes. Kaboom! Kaboom. And it's up to 90,000 mass killed. So rivaling that of the Hastue here for Team 2. Is another Hastue here for Team 1. It is under the control of Signal Runner. And it also has a nuclear missile loaded. Team 1 needs to, again, start protecting more of that investment, either in the satellite or the artillery. But the satellites are all dead now, so artillery. I don't see any plays for any game enders so far here at 40 minutes on the clock. We see just mass fabs, more mass fabs, more mass fabs. Satellite almost done. Not Hastue, another satellite here. This time it's from Team 2's Yoji. That nuke is about half loaded to a second one. The shields are starting to collapse around that Hovertham, and we do see the regen ore here for Yoji trying to assist his units in regening. Doesn't affect structures, unfortunately, but does affect units. So it's better than nothing. Does he have... He has ARAS. Okay, I was going to say he should have ARAS on board, that commander. But it's kind of quieted down a little bit, both on the western side and the eastern side, with the deaths of Jim Jack J and Psycho Ad. That eastern and western side have kind of just slowed down significantly. Yoji did pressure once again, got pretty far in and killed off a base here for Team 1, but I mean, that's a lot of mass that Team 1 was able to scoop up and is still scooping up. There are bombers running away from the ASFs here from Team 2. It looks like they're trying to move in for an attack and did not. Oh, they didn't go far enough. The ASFs are going to die, but maybe they were used the lure in the ASFs from Team 2. Tons of ASFs are going to die in this engagement, and it's not going to go well here for Team 2's air player of Zardos. All the ASFs are dead. All of them are dead. Doesn't even matter. They're on the other side of the map. No way to escape. And there they go. The slaughter did commence. The nuke will launch once again here from Team 1. And will it go? Oh, just barely out of range here. Or barely in range, excuse me. If it landed right here, it would have been in range. But because it had to come in a little bit, cut it just a tiny bit more than it needed to. And or what it was probably planning on, whatever. And it just didn't really work out. Artillery now landing against that Duke and nuke position. The nuke actually taking a shot. Actually, no, it's taking a shot from the laser. That nuke is gonna survive for the time being. Should go after the P-gens instead. Get that volatile explosion online. But Fat Boy raining firepower on the Galactic Colossus there. But the Galactic Colossus, the other ones, at least from Team 1, are busy protecting the nice little horde of Perseus and Fat Boys and Colossi. Oh, nice Billy nuke. Takes out a ton of Perseus, though. That one was outbound here from Chaz, I would assume. Yes, he is nuking once again. I don't think the missile is loaded. Or maybe it already fired. No, he has to load another one. Couple of chickens and a Colossus versus a couple of Fat Boys and a couple of Colossus. That's kind of hard. I think I'd give it to, if these were both fully healed, the Colossus any day of the week. But the Percy's might tip the scales in their favor. The chickens, very smartly here for Yoji, just going to continue walking. Don't stop. Just continue walking. The Percy's have to stop and fire, trying to protect the Fat Boys from getting close to that ion storm that will occur. Not if, will occur. There's the second. Chicken dies in the middle of all those Percy's, and now the Fat Boy did receive a decent amount of fire from the chicken. There's a lot of spam here. That's not really going to get anywhere. And that last lone Colossus is still alive. Pretty well, actually fine. Didn't get singed as much as he thought he would have been. But another chicken is off the front line, as well as a bunch of Rascoms just spamming out those chickens as well. Oh, the Ion Storm does kill off that Fat Boy. Just got a little bit too close for comfort. Oh, that's got to hurt. Second Ion Storm taking out a couple of Cougars that were coming in to reinforce this position. Fat Boy going to receive another Billy Nuke to the face. That's not going to feel good. Will take out the shields, I think. Oh, no, it'll barely not take out the shields. Let's see. Oh, no, it did. It barely took out the shields. That's what it was. It's 20,000 damage. A little over that. Strap Bombers going after everything down south here. Team 1 being very aggressive now with the Strap Bombers. They could have been with that earlier, but anyway. And that Fat Boy will have to retreat in the face of that chicken. The chicken probably will catch up to that Fat Boy, so I mean, it's a mass dump essentially here from Team 1, but they killed off a couple of experimental Colossus. That one actually, no, that one actually survived. Never mind. Team 2 lost 2 chickens for the price of 2 Fat Boys and 2 Colossus from Team 1. So definitely the better end of the deal. But Strap Bombers are inbound. Let's go target Sizolan, track the middle one, and turn that back on. Turn all the icons off. Get a nice little view of the incoming bombing raid that will occur. I don't know what they're going after, but there's some Cougars in AA. They're flying through. They're changing targets. AFSF trying to shield them. Going after the comm directly of Team 2 Zardos. And that is an assassination if I've ever seen one. There it is. Sizolan defeats Zardos, and the artillery lands essentially right next to him. There's an SMD as well. They were probably trying to get a 2-for-1 scenario. Sizolan, you have 3 strats on you. Says Better G. Oh, sorry, 3 sats on you, not 3 strats. And now there are 3 satellites over top. 2 for Chaz and 1 for not Zardos. He's dead. Yoji. More shields. Detected. More shields. More shields on this side specifically. I mean, you're pretty much well shielded here. You need to shift it a little bit more over that way. And Nuke launched once again. This time it's outbound from Team 1's Hastue in the east for Signal Runner. He's at 11,000 mass. Another Nuke launching here for Team 1. This time it's outbound from their other player of Loki. But now there's a huge attack in the west with a Crab and a bunch of T3 units. And looks like that was a... Actually, the Nuke's going to be used as a point defense Nuke. And honestly, it's going to do, I think, a decent amount of work here against these units. They're walking straight into it. The Harbingers are in the front and the bricks in the back, and takes out almost all of those Harbingers. Kaboom! And most of those bricks. The Nuke down south doesn't go anywhere, unfortunately, because of the SMD coverage. But the huge amount of units that are just dead now. Team 1 has a little bit more time to defend against that. There's a Crab, right? Where are you going with those? I don't. There's ASFs nearby. You're going to run them. Oh, where are you going with those? Oh, no. They're going to die. Oh, there they go. They could have been used for the Crabs. You could have got at least maybe 2 passes out of them. ASFs are coming in from behind, but it doesn't even matter. Team 2, I think, now owns air control at a minimum. Bombers still need to keep going. There's a huge more group of them up north. There's a ton of... Hey, how many bombers do you have? 20... Wait, no. 19. He almost has as many bombers as he has ASF. Use those bombers against that megalith. You could probably 2 or 3 pass it and you're fine. We have Rob back here going for a bunch of engineering drone stations, and they're going to go for RAS presets. Shields still online for those 2 artillery pieces. Team 2 still only has the 1, I believe. Actually, no, it was killed off. Never mind. Looks like they're going to go for a Mavor. Awesome to see that. Satellite, of course. Oh, there it is. This is the Hubbatham right there. And now 3 satellites on here for Team 2's Chaz. Looks like the artillery now going to be focused on that. The shields are down. One more shot of a shield. Oh, nope. The shields are back online. I was going to say one more shot of the artillery, and that's it. And Strat Bombers go after that. Megalith kill that off very, very quickly. There's 2 chickens also for defense. So it doesn't really look like it was going to get anywhere from that. And are the artillery going to be focused on other targets? Nope, they're just going to go after those satellites. I think that's definitely the bigger threat right now here for Syzolan. Trying to build as many shields here for Chaz. I mean, he's doing a decent job, but just the emissaries are just designed to take out shields. They hate shields. They wish they never existed. And I was going to say, please don't tell me the artillery is landing nearby against those units here, but they're not. 1 chicken. Oh, chicken's up there. So both those chickens are still online, and those bouncers just racing after those ASFs to take them out. And now it's gone from producing a bunch of satellites to producing a bunch of shields, and they're coming on and offline constantly. It does focus a lot of Team 1's attention for the artillery on this position, and it does allow a lot of time for Team 2 to build up that Mavor. It's already at 50% and climbing. It has Team 2's Yoji has a ton of mass going to it. 1.2k income for himself. Total of his team is 2k. Team 1 at 1.1. Yoji himself is out-ecoing the entire team of Team 1. Of course, that's due to a lot of factors. One being Team 1's lost a lot of mechs on this northern side. Team 2 has had a lot of time to build up mass FAF farms and all that in their main bases. Another group of ASFs is outbound. They were spotted at some point by those satellites. Satellites going, probably should target other things. Another emissary coming online here. This time it's outbound from Loki. Could have just built it right here and call it a day. I do love splitting it out, but when you're going to just shield this much, you might as well put them all under one roof. And the artillery still can't break through the shielding. Some of the shields are starting to collapse, unfortunately, for Team 2. And, oh, those 2 pop back online. It's just a very much back and forth. I think at some point Team 2 will lose that fight, and I think Team 1 just decides it's not really worth it, and they're going to target the artillery shooting at them. That's probably the better thing to go after. It does look like they take out the artillery. So either that... Oh, no. I think they're going to control... I think they control K'd it. I think Yoji control K'd that thing because it looked like the shield was still online. Yeah, I think they control K'd it. Just wanted to scoop up the mass and funnel into the Mavor. That's almost... Oh, that's why. Because the Mavor is almost done. That would explain way more why. It's like, wait, that didn't look right. But the engineers do go down. The P-Gens starting to go down, but that doesn't matter because that experimental is online, and those shields are going up right now. They're not going to stop. We have multiple groups of engineers / RASCOMs building those shields. Another experimental here from Syzolan being built. It is the T4 Awasa Bomber. There's another one online here for Signal Runner, so there's 2 of those writing on the map here for Team 1. Team 1, I think they have air... No, Team 2 definitely has air control, not air dominance. But, oh, so it's like, please tell me you're just going to bomb that one target. Please tell me you're doing that. Ion Storm will go off, take out the Megalith. Nice little bomb here. Takes out a ton of those bricks. Clearing the way here for the chicken to come in. Another chicken will die. And just the chicken spam here on the northern side, keeping Team 2 at bay. And Team 1, I mean, they're facing down a huge barrel. And those shots are raining in. It isn't going to be ringed for right now, so it's going to be the slowest firing Mavor. But still, a Mavor firing at you is bad. It's very, very bad. Oh, please. Oh, please. Yes! 1 bomb for 1 unit. Yes! There it goes. Kaboom. No more AA here for that bouncer. I should have seen how much mass it killed off. But the shields are now going to be the main target now with the Mavor raining down on top of that position. Actually, no. It's going after this position with the nuke in it. Oh, I feel like that's... I mean, yeah, they could go after that, I think, later. The artillery is definitely the bigger of the threat here for Team 2. And everything else is looking good. I don't see any huge gaps. Oh, here come the transports to try to shield the comm of Yoji, I think. I heard explosions. Oh, down here. It's just due to a chicken came. Oh, a chicken came in. It's taking out a bunch of these Rascoms. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, there's another one, and there's another one. Ooh, that's a lot of Rascoms that died. Was that just one chicken? I think that was one chicken. And another nuke launches here. This time it's out from Team 2. It's going to go after this position with the nuke in it. Most definitely. There is an SMD over here. Loki's protected by it for now. And the artillery here from Team 2's Mavor might just target the artillery. But it's going. Team 1's artillery is focusing on Yoji. The shields are collapsing around him. And there's that transport trying to be used as defensive measures. Trying to be, you know, as much of an annoyance. But there goes that nuke. And kaboom! Takes out everything there. Awasaz should just go after the comm at this point. Could go out. Do they even know about the Mavor? They gotta know about the Mavor at this point. No, they don't. I mean, they gotta. If they're noticing the shells land, they probably would notice that. But the shields are collapsing here for Team 2's Yoji. Yoji definitely has the eco to support them. It definitely has a ton more energy to just play with. As the Mavor, though, should be starting ringing it with T3P gens. Really assist with the fire rate. How is the air grid going for Team 1? Well, Team 1's air grid for Saison is starting to collapse, both due to the satellites and the T4 artillery piece. There goes the Mavor shot, takes out the shields and a couple of the mass remaining. And Team 1 really needs to get those shields online and just start spamming stuff out. But another assassination going down here for Chaz. The shields around him have collapsed. He hasn't taken any direct fire, at least that I've noticed. And those two shots are coming in, and they're coming in pretty darn close to that comm. Oh, let's see where they land. Oh, one to his west, right on top of the comm. Had that shield not popped back online, he would have taken a shot to the face. He has T2 gun and the tactical nuclear launcher, or the Billy Nuke. Oh, T3 shield online protects him once again. He's getting very lucky with the shields popping on at the last second. And Team 1 using those bombers as defensive measures, but the artillery's the main threat here. Looks like one of the shield emitters is down. Looks like there's going to be a lot of engineering drones going after those assisting of the shields. With the Mavor now targeting directly on top of it. Hovatham now going to be built. And the emissary now is online here for Team 1. Looks like it was from Loki. He's gifted everything over to Signal Runner. That is huge. 3 artillery online. They're all emissaries. That is pretty big here. But the shields are down around the northern side. The SMD is going to fall. And there it goes. Does Team 1 have a backup? I don't think so. Oh, and this is, if there's a nuke loaded, that's it. That might be game. There's 2 nukes loaded. And that nuke is launching. 53 minutes and 56 seconds on the clock. That nuke will launch and go after Team 1's backline and taking out everything over here. There's even a Hovatham almost done as well. There's no SMD coverage anywhere. Team 1, I think they just send whatever they have in and call it a day. That Mavor came in clutch here for Team 2. Team 1, nope, that's not their nuke. That's Team 2's nuke. No? There another nuke launcher? Why is there's a second nuke launcher over there? Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one over here from Team 2's Supreme AJ. He's gone for nuke as well. Team 1's looking to run for dual Hastues. He has one loaded, but that nuke is gonna land. Guys, you can kill all SMD. You can kill all SMD with 3 artillery and nuke everything. But it doesn't matter. Team 1's going to lose that comm of Saison and all of the artillery except for the emissary. And now it is a 3v3 game. And the second nuke will land right on top of the other emissary. There it goes. So now all of the artillery are down for Team 1. And I feel like at this point it might just be an evacuation order given for Team 1's remaining commanders. Team 1's low-key control Ks. And let's see, that leaves Signal Runner and iRob. We see Signal Runner releasing his last remaining nuke. That was loaded. Looks like the other one died. And that's got to suck. What artillery, says Signal Runner? It was a Mavor. Signal Runner will control K, leaving iRob as the last remaining player on Team 1. And I feel like either he will depart or he will control K. Signal Runner was down here in the corner. And there, let's see what Rob does. Gonna walk. I don't know where he's going. But he looks like he just says, no, I'm done. See ya, bye. And that is a win here for Team 2 And I feel like Yoji might get the MVP for that award. Control canning your artillery. You can scoop up the mass before it is killed off and funnel it into your Maver faster is huge. That's a big brain play. I wouldn't even thought of doing that. That's huge. That is huge. We did have, of course, Chaz building up 1, 2, 3, 4 satellites as well. Almost a 5th one. Constantly damaging those shields here for Team 1. Constantly having them focus on defense. There was a moment in time where Team 1 was in the lead. Everything was going well for them, but it looks like Team 2 just had enough infrastructure, waited a little bit longer, and just built that Mavor and called it a day. So I feel like Yoji gets the MVP for the most valuable player of the game and bringing their team to victory. But if you don't agree with me, or if you do agree with me, or kind of do or kind of don't, let me know down in the comments. Again, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Also, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one.